The most shocking and visually impossible event ever recorded on Earth is unfolding right now in the Atacama Desert, the driest, most arid, and hostile place on the planet, and it reveals a frightening secret about nature and life that you weren't expecting. Think of 1,000 kilometers of pure dryness, where the average rainfall is no more than 2 millimeters per year, less than the width of a child's little finger, and now imagine that this same place, which symbolizes death and the absence of life, simply exploded into a sea of purple, blue, and yellow flowers stretching as far as the eye can see. This is no climatic coincidence. It's a brutal challenge to our understanding of resilience. What exactly caused this radical metamorphosis? Why has life kept this secret for so long? Brace yourself, because the mystery behind this blooming desert is much deeper and more intriguing than just rain. You're about to discover how extreme pressure and silent waiting may hold the key to nature's most impactful event. To understand how shocking this transformation is, you need to fix the cruelty of the Atacama in your mind. We're talking about a place where botanical expeditions considered finding a single moss a success, where the earth is so saline and parched it resembles Mars, and where the very presence of water in the atmosphere is practically zero. For years and decades, this vast expanse of land has been the epitome of inertia, of nothing happens here. Suddenly, in 2025, the Atacama Desert didn't just receive a drizzle. It was inundated with torrential rains at a historic level. The astonishing thing is that this land, which seemed utterly dead and sealed against any possibility of renewal, proved that the absence of events for decades does not mean the absence of potential. This changes everything we thought about places that seem stagnant and hopeless, revealing that the greatest calamity can be the prelude to the greatest manifestation. The heart of the mystery lies not in the rain, but in what was hidden, waiting. Scientists have confirmed that more than 200 species of wild seeds remained buried in that red, rocky soil for years, perhaps even a century, in a state of extreme dormancy. Imagine the level of resilience and biological intelligence of these seeds. They knew the environment was unsuitable, and so they chose to shut down their vital functions, waiting for the perfect moment. This is the most intriguing point. Life didn't flee the Atacama, it simply became invisible. This phenomenon forces us to question: how many dormant secrets exist beneath hostile circumstances, waiting for just the right catalyst to explode into the open? The Atacama Desert is a lesson that the most dangerous thing is not what is visible, but rather the indomitable potential that hides in plain sight, camouflaged as absence. The July and August rains were so intense that 2025 is being classified as one of the wettest in the desert's entire recorded history, reaching volumes of up to 60 millimeters in some areas. This rainfall was not a gentle caress. It was a violent event, above any expected average, and this intensity is fundamental for flowering. Nature shows us here that gigantic and shocking transformations, those that irrevocably change the landscape, usually do not come gradually or delicately, but rather through a radical and powerful intervention. The earth had to be soaked to its limit to break the seed's protective shell. What this reveals is that sometimes it takes an excess, an outlier and disproportionate event, to break cycles of scarcity and release the extreme beauty that was trapped. The power of this phenomenon lies in the visual contrast: a vast plain of reddish-brown earth that, overnight, is replaced by an ocean of flowers, most of them a deep purple, that seem to impossibly dye the ground. Tourists are flocking to the site not only to see the flower, but to witness the breaking of a fundamental rule of nature. This landscape becomes a living reminder that when conditions change, the result can be something so spectacular that it defies recent memory. The shocking story is that this Atacama phenomenon shows us that there is no such thing as a point of no return for aridity. The possibility of a total and instantaneous reversal of any desolate scenario is real, and it can happen in the blink of an eye, depending only on the release of water. The most melancholy and profound aspect of this story is its fleetingness. Botanists assert that this explosion of life is temporary and ephemeral. With the arrival of harsh summer in November, Most of these dazzling flowers will disappear as quickly as they appeared, returning to hide their seeds beneath the dryness. The grim lesson here is that great and spectacular events, those that break routine and bring maximum beauty, have an expiration date. They are not permanent. This imposes a pressure to seize the maximum manifestation of life while it is here. This phenomenon forces us to face the value of intense but fleeting experience, and warns us that nature never settles into a fixed state. The Atacama is the master of transience. But the reversion to the desert's normal does not mean defeat, but rather a terrifying evolutionary strategy of efficiency. When the flowers wither and decompose under the relentless heat, they will not disappear. They will have released a new reinforced batch of seeds, ensuring that the potential of the next flowering, though invisible, will be even greater than the last. The Atacama is teaching extreme survival. After each peak of life and beauty, it returns to stillness, but exponentially stronger and more prepared. This landscape teaches us that rest, or the appearance of returning to the way things were, is actually a period of deep recharge and planning for the next shocking event. What happened in the Atacama Desert has global repercussions that must be considered. This is one of the greatest reminders that life, when threatened and pushed to the brink of extinction, does not give up. It adapts with levels of resilience we ignore. We are talking about life that hibernated and survived decades of extreme drought, violent winds, and solar radiation, only to reappear in a coordinated and massive manner. This event is not just a botanical spectacle, but a case study in the persistence of living matter under hellish conditions. It throws in our faces the fragility of stable environments and the surprising tenacity of life to burst forth, even when all the statistics indicate otherwise. It's the Atacama screaming that the control we think we have over nature is illusory. Finally, the event in the Atacama forces us to confront our beliefs about time and scarcity. In a world where we expect immediate results, these seeds patiently waited for the perfect convergence of conditions, the ideal temperature, the perfect soil saturation, to burst forth. They didn't risk a weak bloom in a moderate rain. They waited for maximum intensity to ensure a spectacle that would break the cycle of aridity. This reveals a brutal intelligence of nature. It only pays to manifest at its full potential when the return is guaranteed and spectacular. The Atacama shocks us with the discipline of waiting and the reward of extreme patience. The incredible transformation of the Atacama Desert, from a symbol of death to a vibrant garden, raises fundamental questions about the cycles of pressure, silence, and sudden manifestation. And I want to know what you think. What does this Atacama phenomenon of life emerging from the most brutal aridity reveal about your own moments of desert? Have you ever experienced a period of total scarcity followed by an unexpected burst of prosperity? Do you believe these rare events are nature's warning about our fragility? Share your opinion, your experience, or your shock in the comments below. Your story is what gives meaning to this channel. And if this revelation shocked you, show your support. Like this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next shocking stories, and turn on the notification bell. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unbelievable.